Hi everyone, this is Phyllis with Phyllis Finds. I am coming to you with a little tutorial. On the last video, I got this at Dollar Tree, and it is a little journal. This is one that I haven't done anything with yet, but I did get this one and made a cover on it. And I showed this with the little pocket and what I'd done here. And so this is kind of going to show you how I'm going to put it together so that you can see how to make this into a really cute junk journal. So for the cover on this one, I did use some little flowers and butterfly and a little bit of fabric to make a little cluster on there. On the back side, I just used the pocket and put a card in it that had the blue and yellow flowers. Same with the back side here. I made a little pocket. I've got a little tuck spot to put something in, ticket or whatnot. I did make this little tag using one of the tags from Dollar Tree, the white one, and then use some of this embellishing stuff that I had gotten in a recent haul. So, to start with, I use templates when I am doing my junk journals. So, I have taken some of this heavier cardstock, and I have multiple templates. Sometimes I couldn't find them, so now I've got them all organized in a toolbox so that I can find them and know exactly where they are. But for the different sizes, I have different templates. I also have an awl. Now there's different types of awls you can use. There's, wooden ones. These are all different ones that I've gotten in the past. I do like this one. It is by Sizik, and it has a cover to cover the point so you don't stab yourself. But I use that more than I do these. But these are good still. And then, of course, there is this one. It is a little thicker awl, so it'll make a slightly bigger hole, but it is also usable. And then I have all kinds of the wax threads that I use. I will also use cording in there. This is some of the wax thread I have had for a little while, so I'm going to use it on this one. But I do keep these all in this little container. Of course, you can get these. This one goes from Home Depot, but they come in lots of places have different colors. And so the drawer carries a lot of things in it. The needles and the little clips. Now these are some clips that I got at Dollar Tree. They're little mini clips, so they work pretty good for this. And so what I am going to do is punch the holes for this little journal. Now I've also used the little big fat clips, and I do like using these because they do go deep into it. So we're going to use that. And then these, I've got 3 holes. See, so I've already, when using the template, you always use the same template for each one and line it up. So for each one of these, I'm going to punch the holes. And the book I just use a book that I have gutted from before. And it makes a great punching. So you got all these little pokey holes. You can use both sides if you want when you get to that point. And then you can turn it over and you should have it right on your seam there. Now once you get that done, you can take these off. They do not need to be on there when you're sewing. You can set your punch aside. So for this one, we are going to be doing this, and then I'll show you exactly what I have put in this journal to make it kind of a fun little journal. When you're threading this, I always take and flatten out the tip of the thread. The wax helps to keep it flat, and then it goes into your needle a lot easier than if it isn't flattened. And with the wax, it has a tendency to gather wax inside the needle, but it will do its job. It'll hold it in place. Now, when you're doing the sewing of it, you want to start in the middle. You go through that, and then in through the middle hole that you've punched on the bottom, or on the spine. And this is the challenging part, is to get that waxed thread through your journal and through the spine. But once you get it going, you will have no problem. Now I always take a tail and just put it underneath there so that it does not come all the way through. Once I come out the back side, I go up to the top. Once again, finding that hole in your spine. And as long as these are clipped together, it'll go right on through, no problem. Once you get through that one, you go to the bottom one, same thing, and then find the hole in your spine and pull it down. And like I said, sometimes it's a challenge to get that through because the wax thread is a little heavier than just regular cotton. Now, as you can see, my waxed end is sticking, so we're going to separate this out. So we can pull that through. And at this point, you want to pull and get this as tight as possible here, and the same with the inside. Because when you come back through on the bottom, or in the middle, like I'm doing here, you're going to come up through the other side. So this center wax thread is between your two ends. That way I can go through here and tight, make sure my edges are tight, make sure the back is tight, and you're looking at it, you can take these guys off of there. And you also want to make sure all of your pages were the correct orientation. Now I always do a surgeon's knot. So it is wrapping it once and then wrapping it twice. And that gives a really tight knot. And that's what surgeons use when they're doing stitching for any kind of wound. So now you got that done, you can either just clip it, you can do a little bow if you want to. I'm just going to clip it on this one. I don't think I have enough. Well, maybe I do. Let's do a bow. Sometimes it's nice to have your little poker there so you can grab hold of that little string, because it can be difficult getting. Get this thing to come through and tighten up. Let's see. go. Get that nice and tight, and then you can clip your tail. That way you have your nice little bow there. So now, to go back through, I always go back through and lay each page out so that you know you can have it the way you want it. And then you can see what I've done. See, now I used some little trim that looks like lace there. I did a little cluster on this. A belly band on the back side with a little journaling card. And I've kept the theme. So when you're picking out designs or things that you want for your junk journal, I try to keep a theme on mine. You don't have to keep a theme. You can put whatever you want in it. This one here is a little paper clip and a vintage piece of book. You know, it was a book, kids books, Young Outlaw, Luck and Pluck series, Tattered Tom. So it was a vintage book. Then each of these has journaling pages in between. I have little flips here. This one here has a little journaling card. Some tickets on a time card. I've used one of the little envelopes, and I did cut it into a V, so you could easily put a tag into it or a journaling card into it. Another little cluster. Now the bands here on this are from the these that I got at Dollar Tree. So they are just paper, but back to back they make a little tab, and so they work really well. Another little tuck spot. You can put journaling cards. This in here is just a recipe card that I've rounded the corners. I do like to leave some things blank for whoever gets the journal so they can do what they want to do. This is one of the things I showed in the last video. It has journaling space on the back side. Places they can put stickers, or they can dry erase on there because it is dry erase paper. Another little spot here, and let's grab this. There is tuck spot underneath there and a place to journal. Backside has this little flip, and then tuck spot with a couple little scrap pages from my stash. And then we get it here, the back side of the flip. I did put a piece of flour in there for journaling purposes. You know, it can be put wherever they want. Back side of that vintage. Now on the vintage paper, when they're really, really old, you start to fold them, they will break. So I have used a washi tape, and you can see through the washi tape to see what there is, but it is yellow, so it matches what there is. This one here is a wallpaper piece. And I liked it because it had the blue flower on it. So I put that in this little pocket. You can put other tags in the pocket. Another tuck spot on the top and the bottom here for putting whatever you want in. Another tuck spot here, and then the back side here. I am still putting more stuff in this, tags and whatnot. Grab some of them. See, I do have like this one here that I can tuck in there. And so as you're going along, you can add things, you can add trim, you can add, you know, you keep all your little bits and pieces together so that you can add things to it. I did use some of these mini paper clips that are kind of fun for these small journals. But this here is the completed journal. You can wrap it with ribbon or silk thread, not thread, but sari silk, and, you know, making it kind of fun to hold. But it's just a small journal. Now you can put little corners on here, which is what I will probably do, is go in there and put some little corners in, and then add the few more little tuck things that I plan on putting in it. But overall, this is how it's been completed, and I hope you like what I've done. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Thank you, and have a great evening.